salting and brining and milk breading and toilet papering. We've got a storm upon us, but the real storm was last week here. We had local basketball, and I don't just mean the Maryland Terps and the Big Ten tournament and college get-ins all weekend and the brackets, but locally we had high school boys and girls state championships, and one of my pals, went to Queen We Are the Champions route. Mike Moeller, a longtime friend of mine and one of our early sponsors here 25 years ago, back when he worked in a different industry, coaching the Catonsville Comets girls to a state championship. I caught it over the weekend all over my Facebook thread, Mike, because, I've got about 40 Moellers I'm an honorary Moeller in my family. First off, congratulations, man, and I know this is a very, very elusive thing in 43 years of coaching to win a state title over there at Catonsville, right?
Well, first of all, thank you, Nestor, and yes, it's my first state championship, and as far as for the Catonsville women, it's the first in the history of the school, and it's been 30 years since any Catonsville girls had been in the finals, and the last state championship of any team for Catonsville, believe it or not, was 1996. And there's a nice little connection because that happened to be my daughter Megan's state championship for lacrosse. So we've had a little bit of drought at the high school, and it was nice to break that.
Now, I'll give you a little story from me, right? You know about my wife's illness. No one's been more supportive than you. But when my wife was diagnosed the second time with cancer about a year and a half ago, I'm over at the hospital the whole month in October, and she's in peril. She actually got out of the hospital for a couple of weeks in November before they threw her back in, and she was home, and lo and behold, Dundalk High School, my alma mater, we all got our Baltimore County thing, we were in the state finals in football. And, I don't want to say it didn't mean anything to me. I had never thought about it, Mike. Like, I think when you haven't been in a state final, it feels like it's sort of like Duke in basketball or something, like sort of the same schools, Dunbar basketball back in the 80s, and, various schools have that cachet. And then there's a place like Dundalk. I'll be honest, I didn't think we were even eligible. I didn't know it was possible for our football team to go to the state finals. And I actually, my wife was comfortable, and I went over to the stadium that night, and I don't think there's anything like the community feeling you have when you put your Dundalk jacket on or your Catonsville jacket. Or I know Loyola and Calvert Hall, they have their game every year, and everybody, gets dressed up and dolled up. But I would think for Catonsville, when it's a girls' basketball program, when you're in the state finals, when your family's been a part of that community since birth, literally, that they're not just for your personal pride, but for anybody that ever played Catonsville anything. And that's kind of the way I felt when Dundalk got into the state finals. It sort of was this impromptu homecoming for people I hadn't seen in 20 years, and everyone wanted to feel a little piece of that pride that maybe you've never had a chance to put a Dundalk jacket on for 30 years because we never played in the state championships. And I would think for Catonsville, there's a little bit like that. It's not like Catonsville's a regular visitor to the state championships and anything, right?
Nestor, you are so right, and I will tell you that we were totally, as a team, as a coach, blown away by the support that we got from the people that came out to CQ Arena, not only on Saturday, on Thursday. I kind of call it almost, it's almost like the death time. At 3:00 in the afternoon, we had to play a semifinal game, and we had 5 student buses come to the game. We had an entire section behind the stands of nothing but, as we lovingly call them, comic crazies. And we had half of the gym filled with community people at 3:00 on a Thursday afternoon. Now, you can imagine what Saturday was.
Well, because it's rare. You know what I mean? It's not, you can't count on this happening next year or ever again. You've waited 43 years to do this. So, I mean, I think it's a lot more fun when, it's like March Madness for real. Like when you get in on the outside, we all remember Coppin's little run, and when UMBC or Towson or Loyola, they get to the tournament. You don't need to be a basketball fan or a fan of girls basketball. You're just from Catonsville, and you wore the C, and there's something something to feel some pride about. And it's very fresh to me because I'm an old guy like you, right? And I felt it for the first time last year. I graduated in 1985. What are the chances in 2016 my team would play a state championship for anything? And I think for what you've done out there with Catonsville, first off, I covered girls basketball forever, right? People don't even know the late, great Bobby Nick. I met him coaching down in Howard County. So many people, have talked about it, and you're a guy that's actually done it. And 43 years into this, it's part of your life, right? Being a coach and being a basketball coach. I don't think there's anything else that you'd rather be doing, right?
It's a passion. I work for a living, and I coach because I love it. Right, after 43 years. And I want to tell you, just back to briefly what you were talking about, the community spirit. My wife and I went out today after practice Friday night, and we went out to dinner at a local establishment, Franco's, a great little Italian place.
I've been there. The nice meatballs over there. Good work.
Great meatballs.
Good work.
And literally at the table, people who I didn't know, I really didn't know, are coming up and wishing us well, congratulations, I'm going to try and be at the game. And I looked at my wife, I said, who was that? And she goes, I don't know. and that's just the way it was. The phone calls and the texts, I said to my wife, I said, boy, and it's so true, winning sure as heck beats losing. And the texts and the emails, and they continue to come in from community people, from our councilman, Tom Quirk, from parents of kids that I coached 15 years ago. It just was, and to look up in the stands, and that's all we said to the kids. I said, guys, you did this, and it was amazing to sit there. It literally brought tears to my eyes to see the community come out and support us, and thankfully we were able to hang on and do something that hasn't been done in the school since 1996. It's a euphoric feeling, and I hope it lasts for a long time because I feel pretty good today.
He is Mike Moeller, the Catonsville Comets, getting the job done. For you with coaching, and so many people take a team. I still brag about coaching Bino Ransom one time when he was 10 years old over at Golden Ring Middle. Only basketball team I ever coached, Mike. And one of the 8 kids I had on my team is going to be a D1 coach, and he's down with Maryland. They're going to be down in Orlando on Thursday night trying to extend their season as well. But I don't think you ever begin a year, and I think one of the fun parts about Maryland this year was, you didn't begin the year thinking they were going to win the Big Ten. You thought they'd be a lower seed. You thought they'd graduate. I mean, when you began this year, are you thinking we've got a chance to win a state championship? I would think very few times in your career do you ever begin a year at that level thinking, well, I have the best team in the whole state. You probably have never felt that way, quite frankly, in the beginning, right?
No,
it's just, let's just win some games and let's get better as the season goes, right?
I never did, but honestly, Nestor, and I mean this sincerely, we had 3 players come in 3 years ago, and I said to one of the parents of one of the players, I said, I know we're going to be good for the first 2 years. I don't know how far we can go, but I know we're going to be good. I said, but their junior year, with the mix of what I had as seniors, I said, I think we can be really something special. And I have 3 legitimate D1 players in my starting lineup. I mean, not maybe, not ifs, not if they do this, they'll be D1. I have one that's already signed, Jen Gast, going to UMBC, and that's going to be great. We're going to be able to watch her locally. I have another one, Jamila Barrett, who's being recruited by a number of D1 schools, and Yale. Now, Yale can't offer anything until September, but Nestor, this young lady, she's brilliant. She has 1 B, that's B as in boy, in her entire life. She's ranked 22nd in her class and is an outstanding basketball player. And then I have Superwoman, Jasmine Dickey, she was All-Met last year. She'll be first team All-Met again this year. She's the highest vote getter in Baltimore County. She'll probably be All-State when that comes out. She's got right now over 12 D1 offers. And I'll tell you something, Nestor, the classics, and I know she's a good friend of yours, and I got to tell you this quick story. The most classy and the coach that I respect the most and why she's where she is Brenda Fries. And I got to talk to Brenda at your event, which was really...
Oh, that's nice.
And it was a great opening to say, Coach, here I introduced myself. I have this player. I don't know if she can play at your level, but I think she might. And from that, we got a relationship. And I want to tell you, at Brenda Fries' level, she's really the only one that emails me back on her personal email, hers. And she was very honest with me and with Jasmine. Jasmine's a slasher. She gets to the basket. She got to the foul line 24 times on Saturday. She goes to the basket, and she said, Mike, athletically, she could play for me right now. She goes, but I really need somebody who can stretch the floor, basically hit the three-point with regularity, and that's not her game. And I said, Coach, I understand that totally. But she has been, like I said, in my mind, there's no question why she's successful. And I know you love her from her story with her children and her connection, to the disease. But I tell you, she's just wonderful. But Jasmine is going to go can go a lot of places. She'll be at that high mid-major level. She's the real deal.
He is Mike Moeller. He is a state championship coach. Catonsville, its first state championship, and defeating the 4A champs, Walt Whitman, 49-46 Saturday over at the CQ Arena. Nice, nice event and a beautiful gym over there. And I think is centrally located for everyone, and not so big that it gets swallowed up. It's a fun arena. I think when there's some energy going on in there, and I think there was energy all last week for the state championship games, right?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, again, I'm so proud. Out of all of the games, they played 4 every day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And even the director of the tournament came up to our athletic director and thanked us and thanked our fans. I mean, we packed the place. It was incredible. And for many of these kids, for the majority, let's say, I have 13 kids on the team. For 9 or 10 out of the 13, they'll never experience this again, ever. And they'll never play in front of as many people, as funny as cheering and a cheering section of students. I mean, when we have our games at the gym, we'll draw 300-400, but we're not sitting there in front of 2,000 and 3,000. And it's just a marvelous venue, and the kids just love being there.
Well, it means more to you, too, because unlike these kids who were, 15, 16, 17, you've been at this 43 years waiting to get a crack at this. You wonder whether it's ever going to come, right? I mean, it's not like you're incomplete if you die without a state championship, but you're trying like hell, right? And this year, you get it together, right?
No, you're absolutely right, Nestor, and you almost gave our pregame speech pretty much right there. Was, guys, I can't tell you if you'll ever be here again, but I know we're here now, and I know that we're, let's enjoy this now, and that's what we said when we came off from warm-ups and we're sitting on the bench waiting for the lineups to be called. I said, guys, just look around, soak this all in, because this just doesn't happen. There are X amount of 4A teams or 1A, 2A, and you know what? There's 2 left that are enjoying this, and you're one of them. So really take it in and enjoy it. And I think they did, and I know I did. It was incredible, and we watched a video that my nephew Jeff put together right after the game. It was incredible of the game. And believe me, we watched it late into the evening.
Hey, man, congratulations on the title. I'd send everybody out to follow you on Twitter and Facebook, but I know you got no time for all that. So you're back for a 44th year next year, right? I mean, you're going to come back and try to, as would Phil Jackson say, repeat, right?
Well, Nestor, with 4 starters coming back, I'd probably need to check into a psychiatrist if I walked away from that. So I've got 4 starters coming back. And, we're already, I hate to say it, I hate to sound like Bill Belichick, but we're already starting to think about next year and our schedule and who we're going to play outside of the county schedule. So we're while we're enjoying this, and we are. And Principal Matt Ames has been terrific. There's going to be another assembly for the kids on Friday.
He's a former coach himself, right?
He did. He won. He was in the finals for lacrosse. He actually coached Brendan in lacrosse, and in 2002 he was actually in the finals. So he gets it, and and he understands it. He had a parade for the kids all through the school on Friday. So you're Nestor, as you know, winning sure as heck beats losing.
Makes you a lot more relevant. We'll find out how the Terps fare here later on in the week. We got basketball in the brain around here. Mike Moeller, state championship down at the Catonsville Comets with the girls down there. Good luck, man. Congratulations. And a nice long tail to the enjoyment. You get to walk around Catonsville the next 6 months. People will be talking about it. So it'll be a lot of fun for you.
Certainly is. And it like I said, I'm still numb, and the smile still is on my face.
Well, I know you've done a lot for our charity too. With There Goes My Hero, and tying your girls' program through the holidays to swabbing and getting people on the list, and we're very, very appreciative of that too. It's always great catching up with you. Always great to have a member of our extended family, the Moeller family, winning state titles and getting their name in a newspaper and seeing them on the television. So I figured we'd reach out to you. Great having you on, Mike. Be well.
Thank you, Nestor.
Congratulations. Almost 500 wins now. Is that right? What's the number? 4 something, right?
I think it's 479.
Wow, you can go over 500 next year, huh?
Well, we'll cross that bridge. Let's just get 480, and then we'll worry about it.
There he goes, Mike Moeller joining us here. You can find me out in the Bayou Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world. I haven't won 479 of anything, I don't think, at this point. But I am 25 years into doing this sports radio thing. We're going to be getting after it. Even it's like the post office, right? No rain, snow, blizzard, storm. Any of that's going to get in the way of us doing sports radio this week. Anything you miss, find it out on the internet. You can always email me, nasty@WNST.net. We still got space on our London trip. We're going to be putting the Green Bay, Nashville, Minnesota, Oakland trips on sale when the schedule comes out next month. We've been monitoring the Ravens free agency. We got the Ravens, out in the marketplace right now, trying to improve themselves. And Brandon Williams, a big pickup this week. We'll be talking more about that. And the Orioles are scattered with this World Baseball Classic. We watched Adam Jones and Manny Machado go after each other on Saturday night in a very exciting baseball game. So baseball, football, basketball, we got some hockey, the Wizards and the Caps as well. Plenty going on around here, including some shoveling. We are WNST.net, AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.